was 12 years old when I got my first period. It was a family function and I started bleeding, went to the washroom, checked. I was like, I might have cut myself or something. Went to bed the same night, stayed in the mattress, and then I was like, my mom was actually the one that noticed it. She was like, oh, you got your period. And I was like, I got my what? And I couldn't stay home. I had exams and I went on to the exams, came back and my auntie was like, oh, congratulations, you got your period. Still not explaining anything. So even at that point, I was not explained what was happening right now. They were like, every month you're gonna bleed. Okay.
It was in the night though. I had no idea about periods, about the menstruations, or about blood. So it happened that I was on the bed and it happened. I thought I was bleeding, but thankfully I had people around me to tell me that, okay, yeah, you are at this point in your life where things are happening, where you see changes. You are at that point in your life where you're no longer a child, where you would have to make decisions that would either go wrong or go right. So I had the help of my family and everyone, my sisters especially, and my mom to keep me in check. Always make sure that I knew how to count my periods to date, how to go about it, how to keep myself clean.
I was 13 years old. I was at school, and after school I went to music school, and I was in my class at music school doing piano, and then I felt something weird, but I did not have any cramps, nothing. I just went to toilet and I seen blood and I was confused, but I knew what period is. I was like aware of that. So I remember after music school I called my mom. I said, I'm not leaving the music school because I'm scared, like what if I'm gonna start bleeding more and more? And she said, just don't worry, put a toilet paper in. So after that we went to the shop, she got me pads and she said like, yeah, you use these ones from now on.
Back home, I knew like a family that didn't have the money to buy the products, so they would use cloths, and which means like, and it would not be like use the cloth and throw it away. No, it would be like use the cloth, wash it, use it again until it is like the dirtiest cloth you've ever seen, but they would still use it because they didn't have the money to buy it. And another one would be where I've heard stories of like a classmate would use cotton. I know it's not the safest, but they didn't have a solution for it to use. So she was like, cotton is way better than cloth. So it was like extra security kind of. But yeah, these are the two worst products I've heard people use.
Honestly, no, I feel like there shouldn't be any price tag on luxury female materials, because trust me, when I say things are hard, times are hard. The economy has gotten to a point where people can't even afford 1 to 2 square meals a day. So how much more is the period materials? Because every single day a kobo or a penny is added to this period materials, which makes it difficult for the homeless, for the poor, for people in prisons. Like, come to ask yourself, do they even have access to these materials?
So I'm from India and there are some really horrible ones in India. Like for example, when you get your period, you're not supposed to go into the kitchen. You're not supposed to touch a certain type of food because they say that if you touch like something called pickle, but it's like extra spicy, if you touch it, it will get a fungus.
बाय असा करायचा तसा करायचा कशाला हात नाही लावायचा असं झाल्यावर देवाची पूजा नाही करायची. मग स्वयंपाक करायला गेलो तर मग तेलाला हात नसं लावून दे का.
Then I know another one would be where you're not allowed to touch the holy book if you got your period, and I don't see the point. You're not even allowed to enter the temple if you get your period. So I think these are some of the horrible ones. And when you get it, you're also supposed to sit in a separate room. This didn't happen to me, but this happens to other parts of India, and like I know people that went through it. They wouldn't even be allowed to talk to other members of the family. It was kind of like you're infected and you would spread the disease. Maybe because it was of lack of education, what's happening, that could be one of the reasons.
Most embarrassing, I would say less embarrassing was that I was in town and I was wearing like light jeans and I had my pad on, but that was like when I was younger because now I'm not using pads anymore. It was just like it was leaking and it was really bad, so I just covered it with a hoodie. And the worst experience, like, and the most embarrassing, I mean, I felt embarrassing, was when my ex-boyfriend, ex-partner, every time I would have periods, he would just make fun of it. He would just say, ugh, it's so disgusting, I don't want to touch you, don't come near me. Like, yeah, that was the most embarrassing. It always made me feel bad. I don't know how many men like feel that way about girls having periods, but I've heard from my friends that there's a lot of guys that like do feel uncomfortable, and I think it is something disgusting, because I think the reason for that is I don't think they really teach people, like younger people, about what periods are, and that it's actually there for a reason. It's not there just like, oh yeah, it's there like it's blood. It's there for a reason, and I would want him to know that it's natural and we didn't choose it, and it's just how it's supposed to be. And if he wants to have kids later on, then he has to respect us going through that.
To my younger self, I would tell her to be prepared of like the other things that comes with the period, like the cramps, the mood swings, and yeah, the pimples as well, the acne. What else? Just a lot of other stuffs that comes with period. Yeah.